What up, fam? My name is Smash Afrika, and you can see I'm in a dealership. Where am I? Mini Northcliffe. Why? Because we decided to pull all our aces up our sleeve, because this season is going to be electric.
Hello guys, I am Federico Ancillai. I'm here with Smash Africa to do this beautiful interview for Living Better.
That's right. What up, people? How you doing? It's been a lot of time. My accent changed, man. I'll be out here overseas and everything. I'm kidding.
What up, fam? What up, Leave It Better community? Thank you so much for subscribing, for liking and commenting. I know I left you guys hanging for a very long time, but you know what? Absence makes the heart grow fonder. My name is Smash Afrika, and I am your host of Leave It Better. And this is Leave It Better on the road. And I almost said we are live. We are not live. We are recording this episode from Mini Northcliffe in Johannesburg. The good people from Mini Northcliffe were kind enough to afford us this space and give us, this beautiful setup with the cars to chop it up. And none of this would have been possible without the good folks from Dreamstream. Shout out to Dreamstream. Make sure you go and check it out on dreamstream.co.za if you want to put your content online or do some other crazy stuff and we record it. It's that simple. All right, without further ado, Federico, what up?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm feeling good, man. Thank you so much for availing yourself.
For me, it's a big pleasure, honestly.
Ne?
Yeah.
It's the year 2025.
Yes.
And
We are getting old.
it's the year 2025. And my first question is, have you become a resident of South Africa, or are you applying for residency in South Africa?
Nothing of both. You
Okay.
know? So I have a visa,
Okay.
a working visa for now,
Okay.
a relationship working visa.
All right.
And I applied 2-3 years ago. Now it's almost expiring. I had to do the renewal. It takes so much.
Yeah.
Like it's so slow, these procedures.
Yeah.
But hopefully I can get a renewal and stay for a little bit more here in this beautiful country.
Now, I started with that question because I want you to paint a picture for people who are watching.
Okay.
Who is Federico and where does he come from?
Okay. So I am an Italian guy coming from Italy. I'm 100% Italian. All my family is Italian. I was born in Italy. Where I was born is Rome, and where I was living, it was Rome, the capital. It's such a beautiful place. I love it so much. And nothing like I was an ex-soccer player.
All right.
So until the age of, let's say 21, I was a soccer player, and I never thought in my life to become an actor.
Wait, you were a professional soccer player, or were you just playing soccer because you loved it?
I was a professional soccer player. It was the last Italian professional league, but it was professional. Yeah.
Wow.
So at the age of 16, I left my house, my
Your
family.
parents,
Yes.
your parents' house?
And I went to play with AC Milan. And then from there I changed teams. I went to play in another team that it was Legnano, it was in the third league and all this kind of thing. But I was playing in the youth league, you know?
All right.
So it was professional, but in the youth league.
Okay, so you're part of the development.
Exactly,
Yes,
exactly.
yes.
And then at the age of 18, 19, I start to play professional in the last Italian league. But then with a lot of injuries I had, I was not anymore performing how I wanted. And at that point, if you don't perform anymore at your level, you always go lower, lower, lower.
Yes.
And it was not how I wanted to go. And with the injuries, I couldn't play anymore as I could, you know.
Yeah.
So I stopped, and that was a really hard moment in my life because I never thought what could have done after
yeah.
you know. And I was not a child. I was already 21, you know. See, you are young, you know.
Yes.
And so all my family works in the entertainment, from my grandfather, from my mom. When I was small, I would always go on a set, Hollywood set,
Yeah.
with like Matt Damon,
What?
Heath Ledger.
What?
And I was behind the camera and I was watching them acting, you know. And it was that part was really beautiful. But you know, as a child, I
Yeah,
didn't
you
care
don't, you
a
don't
lot,
care.
you know.
In fact, especially when you have, I would call it a passion. You love playing soccer and you are good at it.
Yes.
And like working with the family, it's an added benefit, but you'd rather be on the soccer pitch than be on a set with Heath Ledger
100%.
and Matt Damon.
In fact, it was studios, no? They were working
Yes,
studios.
yes.
And after a little bit, I was on set. I was saying to my brother, "Okay, let's go and let's get the ball and let's play like in the garden outside the studios,
Yeah.
like with my dad, you know, because I was getting bored." So, but that was a really beautiful experience for me, because when I finished to play, I told myself, let me try to enter in a world that I know a little bit and that even my family is there, no? So I say I would like to start and study acting.
Okay.
So I spoke with some people that I knew and say which is the best academy I could go. They give me some advice, and I went to the academy at the age of 21 and start practically a new life.
Wow.
And that teach me that in life you never have to give up, and if something finish, there is always a new street. The only problem is to find the new street, you know.
Yes,
So the
yes.
beginning was a little bit difficult, but then I started academy for 3-4 years, and I was lucky because I had a teacher that give me immediately like the right confidence, because I was really shy, you know.
Sure.
So that was the turning point for me, that I was saying to myself like, okay, I can really like be an actor, because I didn't have that. I was not sure I could become an actor, you know. And my first audition, you know, like actors know that to get a role is difficult.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard business, this
My
thing,
first audition was for theater.
Yeah.
And I immediately got the role. So that gave me like, wow,
Let's call it a confidence boost.
100%, yeah.
And also, wow, what position were you playing when you were playing soccer?
I was a midfielder or the wing.
Okay, that's why you got injured, because everyone was, and you know, Italians and
Offensive.
defending, yeah?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
And in South Africa, we call it ukapa. You know, where
Ukapa.
ukapa. That's generally, because when you think about Italian football, you
Yeah.
think about how amazing the organization is in defense. And if
Absolutely.
you're a problematic player, you are definitely going to get those knocks on your knees.
Yeah, but I have to be honest, it was not that, it was a point, but my muscle would break. So like every time
Was
I
it because
sprint,
of was it because of sprinting, not someone injuring you?
exactly. So
wow.
all the time I
Sorry,
would
man.
sprint, my muscle would break. So it means my sprint had to be like 60, 70.
Sure.
If I sprint 80, like the third, fourth time in a match that I would, muscle break. But all the time. So I would play 70%. And when you arrive at one level, unless you are Messi, you can't play 70%, you know. So
I think you were eating comfortable food, man.
I
You
think,
should,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah, you should have started with African
Yeah.
food. Yo,
I
too
thought,
much, too much pasta
Too
and
much.
focaccia.
And pizza, yes. I thought about that. That honestly, it's a good point,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
diet is a really
That
good
is an important
yeah.
thing, man, especially even in a growing body.
Yeah.
But anyway, I would like to move on from, you know, your soccer career and like your soccer life, but like focus more on this journey whereby by chance your
Yeah.
family gives you a taste of the world of entertainment. Yes, you are young. Yes, you are interested in soccer, but not as much in film or the entertainment business. But they see it fit to bring you on a set. You got to walk me through that. The importance of exposing young kids, whether it's our nephews or our nieces or our own children,
Yeah.
to the industries that we work in. How important is it in a child's life, would you think, in your personal experience?
For me, it was something that now I'm 34. I was maybe 10, 12, and it's something I never forget in my life. And I was so lucky, because now the things that I was looking, like I'm still like bringing them on set as an actor, as a director, and like it was like so wonderful, that experience, all of it. Like imagining, you know, like going on set and seeing like a new world, because a lot of times, especially in Hollywood movies, they create the studio and the set, but it's like a fantasy. It's like Euro Disney, you know.
Yes.
So it's something that you never could imagine you could see it, no?
Yes.
And then you see like how things are on camera and how things are behind, and it's totally different.
Yes.
Maybe there is like the stage, and then just around there is nothing, you know. But when you see it on a camera, you see this fantastic world. So like for me, when I was there, I liked it because I was sitting there, I was seeing this magic world, because for me it was a magic world as a child. But then when the movie would come out, I was thinking like, already when I was a child, like imagine like people don't know what there is really around, you know?
Yeah.
And so it was a beautiful experience, and I was lucky that all my family worked on.
Put you on, yes.
Yeah, put me on, brought me on the set. You know, I was a little bit cheeky as a child, so on set they had to be a little bit careful with me and my brother. Sometimes we would sit on the director's chair, and maybe my mama would go around on set, and she would come back and say, "Guys, what the fuck are you doing? You can't sit there, you know." And the director would come and say, "No, Desiree, don't worry, you can leave them there."
They're
And we
kids.
were like
Yes,
there on
feeling
the
like
chair,
a boss.
yeah,
Yeah.
with behind of the chair the director name,
Yeah.
like this, and the producer. Me and my brother watching, and they were like sitting, standing up.
Yeah.
They were like such beautiful people with
You
us.
probably brought light to that set because you know there's something beautiful about the innocence that children come with, because it's such a serious place. And as a writer, director, and actor, you know how intense it can be on a
Absolutely.
set. But having a child coming on that set, and I'm not talking about like a naughty child who's going to break things, but
Exactly.
just coming with that pure energy of curiosity
Yeah.
and being fearless. It's such a beautiful thing.
Absolutely.
Bro, now that we've touched on that, so we're going to talk about this theater production that you get. So you auditioned for it.
Yeah.
How big or how small was the role you got in your first?
You can't imagine. I'm really saying the truth. I was the main actor.
No way.
So I was the main actor, and I was lucky because it was on my accent. So in Italy you have different accent.
Okay.
Here maybe you have a lot of different languages.
Yeah.
In Italy we have one language but with different accent.
Okay.
So maybe sometimes if I go 2 hours away from Rome and people speak with their accent, I don't understand them. But they're speaking Italian. I'm not joking. So I was lucky because the accent of that role was Roman. And I'm a Roman. So I got it. But I got also scared because the script was like this.
Yeah. And now you're on stage. There is no
Yes.
cut.
Absolutely.
You must know your lines.
Absolutely. And when I started to read the script, and I said, okay, I'm in this scene, I'm in this scene, I'm in this scene. And I was like in 80% of the scene. I say, but how can I memorize
All of those words.
everything? And then you have to memorize all the script, because you have to memorize not only my how you say,
Your lines?
my lines, yes, but also the lines before me and the lines even when I'm outside, because I have to know
You
when
need to come in the conversation
Exactly.
somehow, yeah?
And then I know when I have to go out. So I say, like, at one moment I say I can't do it, and I was almost giving up. And I say, like, I can't do this as my first role. And it was 3 months I was in an academy and I never studied. Imagine another thing I have to say. When I was a child, I would do theater in school and I would say, I don't want to be on set. Please put me behind and I want to do the lights.
Yes.
Because I don't like
The stage.
the stage.
Attention.
So after everything, after 3 months, I got this role. But how I am as a person, I never give up on anything. Even if something seems impossible, I always say, no, I have to try. And so slowly, we had 3 months of practice every day.
And you get better.
I started to understand, get better. The director really helped me. The people around really helped me a lot, the actors. And then I got that first work and I did so well. And I didn't expect I could do so well as a first role, you know. For me, it was
The Dreamstream studio in Randburg is a full-service studio on Bromfisher Drive. It's perfectly suited for podcast, music recordings, and general video recordings. Backed up by an experienced editing and production team means you can walk in, record, and walk out knowing that everything will get done as you require. Our mobile gear ensures we can cover your video and live streaming needs on location too. We got the cameras, the lights, and the action to make you and your brand shine. Contact us now, studio@dreamstream.co.za, and we'll make it happen. Dreamstream, a place to create yourself.
Even I couldn't believe as myself, you know, like, but it was good, really good.
The reason why I wanted you to reflect on that is because this podcast is about leaving it better.
Okay.
You know, when you find yourself in an environment, you are shy, you don't have the confidence, you don't know whether you are going or you are coming back. And then there's someone who grabs your hand and says, don't worry, I'll walk you through this. At some point, we did not know. And now we know.
Yeah.
Who was that person for you on that? Because you mentioned the director, but what's the person's name and what did they do that left you better than you arrived? Because Federico, when he arrived on that and they told him you got the role, to the time you guys finished the theater run, you were a different guy.
Yeah,
they left you better than what you were. Who's that person and what did they do that changed for you?
So I think two persons. One was my first teacher, because when I was doing theater, I was still in the academy. So she would help me also. And her name was Elena. She really helped me to give that confidence. And the director, his name was Saverio. And like when I was not doing something right in the practice, he always said, "No, it's good." I was knowing it's not good, you know. But he knew that it was my first thing, and he said, it's good, it's good.
He encouraged you.
Yes, so much.
Yes.
And then also the actors. Like, they were like, my role was a younger guy.
Yes.
That he was a hard guy.
Okay.
And I had two figures, that they were the two actors, that they were like my mom and my dad, you know. And so they really helped me. Like maybe if I had other actors that had my age, would be a little bit more difficult. Because your age, you know, there is competition, especially when you are young, you know. And maybe I could feel like maybe I would do something wrong and maybe they would laugh, you know. Sometimes these things can happen.
Young people do that a lot. And especially because it's either they don't have the confidence that you have, and when they see you fail, it's their moment to actually come across and show their insecurity through laughter. They are not laughing, and that's why I sometimes take a moment and think, like, people will laugh if they are embarrassed, and they will laugh if they don't know something.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes,
so I like that, man.
I know, and so luckily I had these two actors that they were like big, like with the age, and so they treated me like their child on set, you know. So they helped me a lot. So I was really lucky for that, for my first role in theater. And then that theater show, we brought it for years, and we were going around in theaters, and it was really a nice role. I will never forget it.
That's beautiful, man. We had to take it back because, you know, like, sometimes you might not even have time, and this is just like for people who are just connected. This is my opinion also. If you're connected to who you truly are, wherever you go and whatever knows that you receive lead you to the place that you are in life right now. It's either it's going to be for the betterment or to your detriment. So it's always up or down. You know what I mean?
It's life.
It's never in between. and when it's in between, that's when you are discovering yourself and you are in limbo. And we are often given that when we are in our youth. You're allowed to do that. Now let's move on, because you've done a lot of stuff, bro. Before we even get on your South African journey, I just need to talk about, like, how you came about. So now you're in theater, you're doing these theater shows, but something says to you, maybe I should become a director, a writer. Is it like, does it work in a way where you were busy directing stuff already or writing stuff? How did that transition happen for you?
So directing happened so later in my life.
Later on.
So you know when it happened? In COVID time. In COVID happened, I say, okay, I was here, I couldn't work, I didn't have a visa and nothing. So I say, okay, I should start to write my own things with my dad because my dad is the writer. So sometimes what will happen is, he gets the idea and he speaks to me and then I bring them. Or like I tell him, you know, I like this story, let's do it, you know, and I give, I want to try to do this. And he writes the script, he shows me, and if I like, then I bring it on camera. And it started everything because me and Nubile Kumalo,
Yeah.
Nunu Kumalo, we decided in that period of COVID that no one was working to open our own production. So from there we understood, okay, we open our own production, we do our own products, and we direct. So we directed. The first thing was a documentary, and we took 2 years to finish. Imagine.
Wow, man. And your documentary that you guys directed was speaking about the things that happened in South Africa.
Yes.
And the documentary was titled Beauty for Ashes.
Yes.
And it took you guys 2 years.
2 years
I
to
watched that
finish.
documentary, man. I can't help, and I'm just going to be honest with you. It is so heartbreaking.
I know. Yeah.
And yet it's so true in terms of what is happening in South Africa. You know?
Unfortunately, yeah.
And one of the craziest things for me is those people who you guys interviewed were so selfless for sharing their stories because they didn't have to share their stories.
Absolutely.
And whether they are the families of the victim or they are victims themselves, I found it so courageous for them to actually come through. So I don't know. I mean, if you're gonna make it accessible for people to see Beauty for Ashes, but I generally think South Africa and Africa needs to see it, man.
So sorry for interrupting you. If people want to see it in March, it will be in Joburg Film Festival.
Okay, so you're gonna put it in the Joburg Film Festival.
They got the film,
Okay.
and they will play it.
Yeah, please
they will
please
play
make
it.
sure that you pin the date, and we will share it in the description. The dates for the Joburg Film Festival. You need to go and check out this documentary because it's so real, so raw, so reflective. And what I liked about it, the direction that you guys took, you did not make it graphic. You allowed the people to share their stories.
Yes.
But you also reflected on South Africa's past. It was not just like women and children are going through abuse or women are being killed. Femicide is a real thing. You didn't just go in that direction. You said, these are the things that actually play a role in this thing becoming a problem.
Yes.
And we can only beat it if people speak out, if people report,
Really.
and most importantly, if people stand up against the violence on women and
That
children.
is, the first
That's,
thing.
so it's really beautiful,
Thank
man.
you. I really appreciate.
Now, you say you and Nunu Kumalo have a production company.
Yes.
It's called
Komorebi Pictures.
Komorebi Pictures.
Yes.
Now, you got to tell me a story about, and I don't want to talk about your relationship. I just want to talk about how you met Nunu Kumalo because she's been a guest on this platform.
Yes.
How did you meet her?
So we met in Amsterdam in a film festival.
Okay.
She was nominated as Best Actress. She even won that year. And my film instead was nominated the Best European Film. And so, we met there. After the festival, you speak, you take some pictures.
You
and
take some
everything.
numbers.
You take some numbers. But imagine that day she gave me her business card.
All right.
And me with the business cards, I will always lose them.
Yes.
Always. So I knew I would lose them. Then, it was after the festival, maybe like you go and take some drinks.
Yeah. After a few
So
glasses of wine.
that business card gets lost easily.
Yeah.
So I knew I took a picture of that business card. And the business card, the day after I checked and it was lost. of course.
But it was not lost on your phone.
But not on my phone. So I DM her. So there was her Instagram. So I DM her, and the day after we went to have a drink, and knew each other a little bit more.
That's beautiful, man.
Honestly, we went and we were like a big group, and I told her, let's have a drink with the director of my film, the producer, and like the actress. She was alone. Instead, I went with a group.
Yeah.
And she didn't know that the director was my dad. She knew it after maybe 1 month that we were speaking. The producer was my brother. And then the actress was a friend that we met on set, But the actress, I didn't know it before I shot that film. But the producer and the director was my dad and my brother. So we went all together. And she didn't know. She thought it was the producer and director. But I didn't say it's my dad and my brother because I want to be professional,
Yes, yes.
So, but she knew after, and she said, "But sorry, you didn't tell me. It's your dad and your and your brother." I say, "Yes, sorry, I didn't say it, but I want to be professional with you."
That's crazy. That's a beautiful love story. I think that's a beautiful script in the making.
Yeah, it could be,
In terms of how we start the story. Now, so you guys meet. Whatever. It's not a thing. You're talking on the phone. You've connected, obviously. You're talking about collaborating, maybe. And you're like, yeah, I actually never been to South Africa.
Exactly.
And something says to you,
Yeah.
let me catch a plane to South Africa.
A plane, yeah. And
Because you didn't come with a ship, hey?
no,
You didn't, looking for a relationship, coming with a ship.
it's already too long with a plane. Imagine with a ship. It takes like months probably.
So you come to South Africa.
Yeah.
You had never been to South Africa before.
Never. And I even never thought to come to South Africa. Not because South Africa is not a beautiful country, because it's such a wonderful country that everyone has to visit, but because in Europe, people doesn't speak a lot of South Africa as a place where to go for holidays. I think because it's far, first of all, and because maybe there is not the right publicity that maybe South Africa does. In Italy, they do such a big publicity for their tourism and everything. So everyone knows about Italy. Instead, South Africa, maybe for this reason, there is not such a big publicity. So I never thought about it. And it would have been really a bad idea, because now that I'm here, I discovered such a beautiful country, beautiful people.
So you did not know much about, you did not know a lot about South Africa, apart from whatever little information that you were exposed to. You didn't know it was beautiful.
Exactly.
You didn't know there were cities the way the cities are built.
Yes.
You didn't know you could live like you are living out there in Italy, if not better.
Exactly.
Crazy.
Yes. I knew like Mandela, the things that...
Of course, your currency is stronger than our currency.
Yeah,
the simple stuff.
Yeah, but I didn't know a lot, no? How I told, maybe it's because it's far away, but people, if they have to go, let me go, I don't know, maybe more Zanzibar in Italy is more popular, no? Than South Africa. Now South Africa is starting to be a little bit more, is growing up also for Cape Town, is growing now. Cape Town is the best city in the world,
I think if I don't know if it's Proudly SA or SA Tourism or whichever board that is selling South Africa, they need to start selling South Africa as Mzansi, not South Africa. Because if you sell it as Mzansi, it's authentic to what you are going to experience here in South Africa.
I understand.
You know what I mean? And that's just my 2 cents. In terms of the creative, you guys can go wild about that. Now, so this is 2019.
Yes.
You set foot here. We spoke about this,
2019,
2019, yes, the year before COVID-19 and the lockdowns. Yeah, 2019, you set foot here. You come first week of November.
First week of November, yes.
And then you go back to Italy.
2 weeks here, Then I go back in Italy, and I didn't know when I would come back.
And then you don't know that South Africa has the best Decembers in the world, and you come back
No.
in December.
You know what? I was here in November, 2 weeks. I say, okay, I do this vacation and everything.
Okay.
I get really in love with Nuno.
Okay.
So after 10 days, I say,
The Dreamstream studio in Randburg is a full-service studio on Bromfisher Drive. It's perfectly suited for podcast, music recordings, and general video recordings. Backed up by an experienced editing and production team means you can walk in, record, and walk out knowing that everything will get done as you require. Our mobile gear ensures we can cover your video and live streaming needs on location too. We got the cameras, the lights, and the action to make you and your brand shine. Contact us now, studio@dreamstream.co.za, and we'll make it happen. Dreamstream, a place to create yourself.
when I will go back to South Africa, I don't know. Now there is Christmas. Our relationship, we were not still engaged, you know, so it was fresh and everything. After 10 days, I said, I have to go and see her again.
Yes.
And so I get another ticket immediately, and I get on the
And now
plane.
this, you come back in December.
I told her the night before, I said, tomorrow I'm coming. She said, no, what are you saying? I don't believe you. I'm saying I'm coming. Show me the ticket. I show her the ticket. And after 10 days, I was back here in December. Yeah.
How was your December in South Africa?
It was really nice.
Ne?
Yeah.
The summer, the sun,
the sun.
everyone is happy.
Yeah, it was so nice, and I enjoyed a lot. I enjoyed really a lot. And I have to say this thing that is a funny thing. The day before, not the day I had to leave, Nuno was shooting a commercial, and it was the 21st of December. So like I would arrive the day after in Italy. And you have to arrive in the airport like 2-3 hours ago, before, sorry, because otherwise you lose the plane.
Yeah, you missed your flight.
And even in December, I didn't know when I would see again Nuno. So she was shooting this commercial on set, and she say around 4 I will finish. I had the plane around 8, something like that. At 4 she didn't finish. At 5 she didn't finish. And like I say, oh my God, now I have to get a Uber, but I want to say like bye, you
See
know?
her one last time.
Yeah, because you never know in life. Maybe I would not see it anymore. You know, it was when it's the beginning of the relationship
It's
and you are
different, yeah.
in the other side of the world.
Yeah.
Everything can happen, you know?
Yeah.
So I said, no, I need to say hi, I need to say hi. And she had to bring me to the airport. I waited until the last minute. And then she said, I'm finished. Wait. So I was like on my knees in front of the camera, hoping like, I hope she finished because I don't know what to do. I don't know if to wait or to get the Uber. If to wait or to get the Uber, you know? She finished. We were running on set and she was saying bye to everyone. And I say, bye. We got the car, we went, and I arrived before the check-in closed, like maybe 10 minutes before. Otherwise, I had to buy maybe another tea. It was a disaster. So
I
that
told you,
another
this is the
thing.
script, man. Everything is, those beats are on point.
It's true. We should.
Those beats are on point. So, fast forward, 2020.
Yes.
You decide to come back to South Africa again.
And this time not
And now
for a
this
holiday.
time, you are not coming for a holiday.
No, this time no. This time I'm coming to stay with Nuno and understand if our relationship would
Is
work.
worth it.
Yeah.
And you make the trip. And
I
then you
make the
make
trip.
it to South Africa.
Yes.
This is in February, end of Jan. You know,
Yes.
that time.
Yes.
This is 2020. Fast forward to the fateful day. Is it March 2020? I think it's March 2020 on the 21st.
Something like that.
The president of South Africa says, lockdown,
Lockdown. Yes.
close your laptops and go home. Where is Federico? He's stuck in South Africa. Crazy.
It's kind of like this, yeah.
Basically, that's what happened.
Yeah, I had to stay here 3 months and I stayed here 9. So imagine.
You got to walk me through it. Now, earlier on, you did mention during COVID, that's when you started flexing your writing muscle and playing with ideas of becoming a director.
Yeah.
Right? And now you are experiencing Nunu, you are finding out you actually love her.
Yeah.
And she actually loves you back. So which good things are happening, but you are under lockdown.
Yes.
You gotta walk me through it. Are you missing your family? Are you not missing your family? Like, what's happening?
So that period, I think, for everyone was crazy period. If I think someone would write a script before COVID, people would say, what is this nonsense? It's impossible, you know? So what happened? That period was impossible in the imagination of everyone.
Yep.
I think, you know, like for days and days, everything was closed in the entire world. No, it's impossible, you know? So for us, like everyone, was really a tough moment because you were stuck in the house, you could not do nothing, you are learning to know a new person, living in the same house without going anywhere. It's not easy, you know. And you couldn't work, you couldn't do nothing. So it means you had to stay 24 hours inside the house.
How
And,
are you
know,
living? Are you not running out of money?
like luckily I had some savings from
So he had the euro.
from Italy.
Yeah, the euro. You converted the money
but-
and it was savings, so it was like more.
Yeah, I had savings,
Uh-huh.
and so like I was okay for that period, but not mentally, you know.
Oh,
Like
damn.
I was happy that
Speak
I
the
was
truth, yeah?
I was knowing Nunu, but it's one thing knowing a person staying 24 hours in house. Another one is like going out, maybe going to a restaurant, like having a normal life. That was not normal, and so I told to myself like we have to do something. And Nuno, she told me like, you know, my dream is to make a documentary. And I say, what? You know, my dream is to make a documentary, and we never spoke about it. And it's a day that we were in the house in the lockdown. And so from there, we started the journey. We started to understand, okay, we have to do a production. We understood which kind of story the documentary could have been made and all these kind of things. And from there started our journey with the documentary, with the production, and knowing each other even more and more, and continuing our story, you know.
That's beautiful. I love these lockdown stories because sometimes they're bad lockdown stories, hey? In terms of like, yo, people broke up, people divorced, people found out things about each other. But you guys fostered your relationship and you used your creative to come up with something that will be available at the Joburg Film Festival come March, Beauty for Ashes, which I think it's really profound. So, okay, we move over to from lockdown.
Okay.
They start easing, you know, they go from level 5. I even forgot how it worked. From level 5 and it started going low to level 4, level 3,
3,
2, 1. No more lockdown. Now, you are an actor, so you need more jobs. You need to bag jobs. So how easy was it for you to get an agent in South Africa to represent you? Because now, at the beginning of the year, you had a nice stint on Benelandes, the soapy, which ended recently.
Yes.
And that was like, it's a stint. They could call you back. You never know, right?
Yeah,
but
like-
that's one off.
Yeah.
And then also you've done commercials.
Yes.
You got to walk me through it. How has that journey been for you? Like literally moving continents because of love.
Yes.
Finding your passion and your purpose in another. I guess it's still in the entertainment business, but finding drive as a director, a writer, and then now going back to flexing your muscle as an actor. How has that journey been for you? Has it been easy or?
Easy and not easy. Why easy?
Tell me more.
So at the beginning, like for my accent, you know, I thought I would never had any kind of possibility to work here, because here you have to know Zulu, Afrikaans, and English.
Sure.
And I don't know three languages. I don't know any of three because my English is what it is, you know. So I say like, I have to find out something. And I was thinking maybe I would go back in Italy to work as an actor. Maybe here doing some like model shoots, these kind of things, you know, to do even something here and open the production so I can do my own works here. So my idea was work here as a producer and a director because that is something I still can do, and go back in Italy and work as an actor. But then one day I told, you never know in life. So let me send some emails to the agency for commercials and for TV and for these kind of things, for movies. At the end, what will happen? No one will reply to me. It's not the end of the world, And instead, I was surprised because like 4 or 5 agencies replied. And so I went to have the meetings with them and everything. And I decided which agency I wanted. So I chose one agency for commercial and one agency for movies and for other things. And practically from there, my adventure started. And for my accent, I understood there aren't so many roles, but the one there are really for my accent. So they are looking like, they are not looking Federico, but they are almost looking Federico. So 90% that role is mine.
Yes.
And even my agency told me like, Federico, there aren't so many works like roles for your accent, but the one that there are, they're really for you, And so we start this journey with my agency of commercial and acting. Commercials are a little bit more easy because I shot a commercial with Faf de Klerk, one of the biggest commercial in the last period for budget insurance, like Radio Speak, television, newspaper spoke about it, and they were looking for an actor with that kind of accent.
Sure.
So I got that role,
Sure.
and when I went for the callback, I was the only one that they choose for my role. So I was for the callback, but practically they chose
There was
me.
no competition. It was
Exactly.
yours. Yes.
And instead for this role that I got in Marco, that it was for 12 episodes, and it was for that for that 12 episodes, sorry, I was one of the main actors.
Yeah, because obviously the character that you're playing is coming with a story.
Exactly.
And that story is going to live for 3-4 weeks.
Exactly.
But now it's a soapy, so you
Yes.
are there all the time.
All the days.
Yes.
I was in Italy. I was doing a vacation, and my agency told me there is this role for you. It's an Italian guy they are looking. Please, can you do a self-tape? So I sent a self-tape, and after 2 weeks, immediately they even didn't want to do a callback with me. So that's why I'm saying when they are looking for it, it's almost done. They didn't want to do the callback, and they say, "Okay, you got the role." I say, "What?" Like such a big role, not even a callback and nothing. And they say, no, it's done. Like you got the role, and I shot it last year in September.
Yeah. So now when you share the story, the first thing that comes to my mind is someone watching this wanting to break into the entertainment industry, or someone looking to become a professional footballer, or someone looking to just expand and own a car dealership. What do you have to say to them as someone who traveled from one continent to another, and you're still living out your dreams in spite of the challenges that you've gone through? What words of encouragement do you have to say to these people?
So the first thing is be patient. It's right to say. Be calm, because the time will arrive.
Sure.
It can't arrive immediately because you have to build, like making a house. It's like the same thing. To have a beautiful house and to build a house, it takes time.
Sure.
And it's the same thing, especially if you are going to the other part of the world, and never give up. So sometimes it seems impossible, or it seems difficult, or like you are doing audition and it's not working, or maybe you go and give curriculums and people say no. In life there will be many more no's than yes, but that is the moment that you have to be strong mentally, especially mentally. Don't give up, and understand, okay, today it went bad, tomorrow is another day, and when tomorrow is another day, I will try to have the same passion, the same like positivity, that I still can make it, and don't think about yesterday, because yesterday is already the past. So I think this is the best thing. And sometimes it takes years. Sometimes you can be lucky and you can get it immediately, and sometimes it's difficult. And this role that I got for Binelanders, I think yesterday or the day before, a newspaper in Italy told that I was the first Italian actor in the history to act for
In the South African soapy.
yeah, commercial and soapy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So both I was the first.
Yeah. I mean, like when you look at it, Samuel L. Jackson has featured in a South African soapy, and he's a big time movie star.
Yeah.
Chris Brown has featured in a South African soapy. He's also another big superstar. And Federico could be
Yes.
that guy too. Featured in a South African soapy, Italian man who's going to probably be a big superstar. You never know. Just keep
Exactly.
on doing it, man. And I just want to say for your time and your effort, and I think one of the reasons why I wanted to invite you to do this interview was, number one, your story of resilience and your lack of fear when it comes to taking risks. And as someone who plays golf, you know, they always say keep it simple, sure. But sometimes when you take that big risk, you'll get that big reward. And it seems like it has turned out for you. And I cannot wait to see what you're going to do next. I can't wait to see your journey blossom for the world to experience it. And most importantly, for people watching this, South Africans, Italians, Africans, Americans, Asians, they themselves can see the light that they have inside by you sharing your story.
Absolutely, like I totally agree on everything you are saying, and I also hope that South Africa can bring more of these people, you know, more international people in this country, and you already have a lot of people in this country because it's multicultural South Africa, but even more, especially in this entertainment industry, you know, because there is not so much, and I think if you bring more, the entertainment, it's small here in South Africa, could become bigger and bigger, and bringing international, like never how can I say, never leave out South African people, because that have to be the base, because we are in South Africa.
Yep.
But bring even some international actors or stories here in South Africa to build the entertainment, and this will be good for the people that are coming here in South Africa, international people, and it will be good for South African to be known also around the world, and not all in South Africa, you know?
Yeah.
Like sort of like America.
Yeah.
America is this, you know?
Yeah.
Everyone knows America around the world, actors. Instead, maybe some South African actors, they don't know around the world. And you guys speak English, so you can make that kind of American style, no? You guys are small, but you also always can become big. In Italy, like, it's more difficult to become big internationally because we speak in Italian. So if a film goes in America, you have to see in subtitles.
Yeah.
You guys have this big possibility, no? And this big thing that you guys speak English, you can make words in English. Why don't open this world in a wider way and not only here in South Africa, you know?
That's what I'm talking about, man. It's not just RSA, Baba.
Absolutely.
We are the kings and we taking over. But anyway, South Africa, the world, thank you so much for watching Leave It Better. I'm your host, Smash Afrika, and Federico said I must say this. Writer, director, Federico Ancillai.
Yes. Perfetto.
And that was a one take. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and make sure you check out dreamstream.co.za, because without them, you wouldn't see this pretty face on YouTube. Because now I'm international. I cost more. Down go. Yes.